from HBO many years ago. Absolutely the highlight of my career. And I know I'm at a supernatural convention. But honesty is important when you don't know people. We don't know each other, so I think it's important that we're honest. Lie to loved ones, but not to strangers. I loved being a part of that project so much, and for several reasons. A, the material, playing a real guy, playing real people, trying to reenact something that really happened, that mattered significantly in world history, being a part of that, and the education it brought me. The education it forced me to have, the reading I did because of it, the talking and meeting and connecting with veterans of that war, and the family of the guy I played. So many elements were great. Another element that was fantastic was the gentlemen with whom I got to work as actors, because it was truly an amazing group of guys, many of whom now have gone on to become famous movie stars, especially the British guys. But just before, when everybody was an unknown, struggling person, it was the most fun job in the world because these guys cared so much about the roles. Everybody took their roles so seriously, whether there was a small role or a big role, whether their veteran was alive and in communication with them or passed away during the war. Everybody took their job so seriously, and that was a really cool thing to be around.
I can see it in this. I can see it when you're acting. It's really how you came together as actors with your passions. You really connected.
I think the boot camp helped a lot with that too. You know, we did a 12-day boot camp, and there was a long time when we didn't know each other's real names because we all learned each other's names by character and by rank. And you know, you do that for 12 very long, intense days. That's the name that sticks with you. So when I see, you know, Michael Cudlitz, who's on Walking Dead now, I still call him Bull, which is his character name. Everybody still calls him, he still calls himself Bull. Like, it sort of happens. And it's awesome to see those guys do well. And not even just as actors, but as people. You know, most of us have gone on to get married, have kids, and that's the fun part. Work is work. You know, an acting career, various people have various levels of acting careers. That doesn't mean their talent's any different, it means their path is different. But what's great about it is the caliber of people that were involved in that are really good guys. And when you see them, whether they be still in the business, out of the business, or superstars in the business, everybody is the same. And when I see, you know, I mentioned that that show turned out, it's an amazing pool of talent from the British world that now became stars. You had Damian Lewis, who was the star of the thing. But even guys in small roles. Tom Hardy, Marco Fassbender, James McAvoy. Like, we had just a slew of people who came out of that and were huge. I haven't seen Tom Hardy since he became enormous, but I've run into Fassbender, he couldn't be nicer. You know, I see Damien all the time. He and I stayed great friends, and he's exactly the same. I mean, like, it worked because the guys were all normal, and they stayed normal. And I think everybody still values, regardless of where their career has taken them, whether out of the business or up the ladder, I think everybody still values that experience tremendously. So, glad you liked it. Thank you for the question. You.
Hello. My question is, what were the challenges of directing an episode of Supernatural for you? And was there anyone who gave you a hard time?
Yeah.
Directing an episode of Supernatural. I don't know where you guys are here. Are you guys, are you caught up? Are you currently on the show?
Yeah.
So I directed an episode this season 11. It was just my imagination. The Imaginary Friends episode. It was, the challenges were enormous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been an actor my entire adult life. It's been really the only job I've been able to keep. And it sort of segued into directing. I dabbled in it when I was younger and then segued into it professionally about 5 years ago. And really wanted a shot at directing an episode of Supernatural, but also knew it was a long shot. So, not to get too boring into it, but I directed a lot of other things and went through the Warner Brothers Directors Program before I was able to get a crack at it. And even then, there was no guarantee. It was out of the good graces of Bob Singer and Jeremy Carter that I finally got an opportunity. The thing about directing, and I say all that to say, I'm not new to the business. I've been around it 20 some odd years. And yet still, I found it the most daunting thing of all time. Because even though I've worked with directors constantly, and even though I had directed commercials and I directed smaller format material, and I had shadowed 3 supernatural directors, until you're the guy or gal making those decisions, until that's all falls on your shoulders, you have no idea how hard and how much pressure that is. And so I was one of those people who had no idea how hard and how much pressure it was, even though everybody would warn me. You know, Jensen and I had a lot of great talks, Misha and I talked, aside from the fact that I talked to other directors from the show who were not actors, but they were, I thought, especially good resources because they came from the world I came from. So that was interesting to hear their challenges. And they, you know, Jensen warned me, Misha warned me, and I came into it expecting a boatload of work, and it was more work than I ever imagined. I was in complete lockdown. And the difference is when you're an actor, you might have a full day of work, but you might have the next day off, or you might not start till noon. When you're the director, every decision, everything that happens starts with you, ends with you, and it starts the day you arrive on the plane. And so you have to prep your mind off. You just every decision from costuming to props to locations to set pieces, everything. That night you got to re-prep for the next day. Your prep week is madness. Your weekends are all prep for the next day. It was just nonstop work. And I'll tell you, one of my biggest takeaways was that crew is amazing. That crew is an amazing group of people whose professionalism is unparalleled. And I say that without being suck up to them. It's just a fact. That crew the majority of them have been together for that whole time. That doesn't happen. The caliber of the work on that show is unbelievable in terms of how intricate the stories are, how intricate the shot styles are, the special effects, everything. They tell an enormous story every week. The director swaps out every week. Some directors will shoot more than one in an episode, but they don't shoot them back to back. So when I finished my episode at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, and I felt like I'd run a marathon, I got to go home and go to sleep and sleep in. They started again at 6 in the morning with a different director. You know, to them it's just lateraling the ball to the new guy. And I was so struck by that. As an actor, I knew it intellectually, but I never really understood it emotionally until I saw how hard they worked with me, and then knowing they're going to start that process over at the crack of dawn the next morning with a new guy. With a new vision, with a new style, who might have a different way of dealing with people. They have to adjust on the fly, because technically, for that week, he's the boss. Maybe he's an asshole, maybe he's great, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, maybe he's a genius. You don't know until the guy shows up. And I just felt like, wow, it really speaks to their expertise that they are able to maintain the consistency of the show. Because I come in, Bob Singer, Phil Segresha, John Badham, Jensen Ackles, Misha Collins, other people come in and direct the show, but the and some shows are better than others, depending on writing and directing, or both. But the show maintains a level of excellence, and that's because of the crew.
Yeah.
That's them.
That's what
They are truly a tremendous safety net that flies very high under the tightrope, so that you don't fall far. Because they won't let, the show means too much to them to let you ruin it. But I had an amazing experience. I mean, I truly had an amazing experience. Now, your follow-up question was, did anybody screw with me? This upsets a lot of people. I get asked this question a lot. And it's emotionally tough, I think, for an audience to hear this. But I think I should be honest with you people. No one screwed with me. I know, right? Bummer. Which also makes you people kind of sick in the head. Because every audience I go to, and every time they ask me about that, and I say, no, they didn't play any jokes with me, the reaction isn't, whew, thank heavens, it's, ah. Really? I don't want people to come to your job and screw with you. I assumed they would because they made Misha's life a living hell on earth. They hit him with a pie, they stole his script, they, mocked him endlessly. But they didn't do that to me, and I don't know if they didn't do that because, I'm not sure why. It's definitely not because they have more respect for me than they have for Misha. That ain't it. Maybe because Misha is an actor on the show, he's tougher to fire, so they could screw with him more, and I think I'm a lot easier to fire because I have no real business being there, but for their good graces. So, I don't know. I will say, I mean, Jared Jensen, again, also, and I hope you understand that most of us, especially me, are not nice enough to come out and talk about how great they are if they were buttholes. Truly. Because I'd only be able to say so much before I started sweating and the lie would be all over my face. Jared and Jensen are so good at their job of being those characters that you don't direct them. They show up so prepared and so dialed into what that character is going to do that you offer suggestions and you have ideas and you create blocking for them and they help you make it better. They also they speak such a shorthand in terms of the crew and everybody else. And they expect the same level of professionalism out of you. So when I show up to direct an episode, I didn't get a free pass. I don't get the buddy pass. They're like, great, you're directing the episode, that's cool. But just like if I was acting with them, they wouldn't be like, it's okay that you forgot your lines. No, it wouldn't be okay. I'm there to do a job. So when I was there to direct, they were super cool and gracious about it, but they expected me not to suck. Speaking of sucking, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Openicat, I want you to do me a favor. Gil, come here. Here. Pretty please. Right now, today, in Rome, at this moment, on this stage, sits a birthday boy. Okay. And I want Gil, the voice McKinney, to lead us all in a little ditty I call Happy Birthday. Gil, what key are we doing this in?
If you guys are singing me, I'm gonna sit in the middle, especially Gil.
All right, on me. Me. Happy birthday to you.
Tom Openicat, everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom. Happy birthday to you.
Tom Openicat. Tom Openicat.
Very excited to be here.
Smoker sheep.
Hey, everybody.
I'm so excited, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know this. Tomo is turning 21. That's his first glass of wine, everybody.
First drink.
My first one.
Does it make you feel like dancing?
Take my clothes off.
Tomo was waxing poetic and getting nostalgic in the green room minutes ago, and he pulled up a picture of himself at 15 with
Isn't that funny?
the mullet from hell.
I had the biggest Canadian hockey hair you've ever seen.
Truly.
If I get drunk enough this weekend, I'll let you guys see the picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's pray for binge drinking. I think this means I'm turning over the stage to you gentlemen. Guys, this is great. Listen, do me a favor. Only ask them questions about the episodes they did together. I think the Gadriel
Those are some
and
good
Henry
ones.
episodes are so magic. I mean, I love your stuff by yourself, but when you two get together,
Yeah.
holy smokes, it's amazing.
You remember when you
so
did that,
let's just be sure we limit all of our questions to
It's gonna be a
scenes and
short
episodes
panel,
together.
Richard.
And our panel will be 5 minutes.
Just no, drag it out. Drag it out. Just don't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Openicat and Gil McKinney. Thank you, everybody. I will see you later.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Richard. You want to dance?
European dance party. European birthday dance party.
Salute.
I heard something about boxes and is that stuff up here for the panel?
You heard stuff about what?
Did you hear? Usually they have little games or things we can do up here, but
Presents.
You guys are present enough.
For me, not for Tomo. He wants real presents. It's his birthday.
I like your presents.
It is his birthday.
Compliments will do. I'll take compliments all day.
What's up, guys? Good looking.